Rick Brewing, NkySportsBlog.com. We're continuing our NKSB Preseason Practice Tour. Made the stop out at Scott today to visit Coach Carr and the boys. Coach, you lost a lot from last year, and it feels like this has kind of been a common theme for you over your tenure. You lose a lot of seniors that provided a lot. How do you replace those guys?
You never replace them. You just hope that somebody else will carry the torch. You hope that they left a lasting legacy and a foundation that these kids are going to sit and try to continue that trend. And hopefully, we got a pretty good nucleus back, a very, very young nucleus. We're rather deep, and I think that there's some kids that are going to be willing to step up.
We were talking about earlier during the practice, you guys seem to start off a little sluggish every year, and it's like these guys just need to learn how to play within the system. Is it just because of the speed that you play at? These guys kind of have to just get acclimated because you always pick it up at the end of the year? Yeah,
I think it's one of the things where they're trying to learn what they can and can't do within my scheme and within their own skills. And, so I think it's a situation to where we play a very competitive early schedule, and we figure out what our strengths and weaknesses are. And what we try to do is we try to stay away from our weaknesses and then really enhance our strengths. And I think, playing a competitive schedule early like we do will allow us to see who's going to be able to compete and who's not going to be able to compete. We'll play a lot early, and then towards the end of the year, we'll put the people in there that are going to sit and get the job done.
And when you talk about playing that speed, obviously it starts with guard play. You graduated a couple really good ones, particularly Kellen Smith, who's playing at Saginaw now. Just talk about some of the guys that you're going to ask to step up this year and really carry the torch.
Well, guard play, we have a very deep guard play. Eric Pouncey's going to have to step up and play. Josh Feltz, who's been playing very well. Travis Clary. We have kids that can handle the basketball that are, might not be labeled a guard, but we're going to everybody's going to sit and be asked to handle the basketball, even our bigs. Nick Jackson, Hayden Graziani, Blake Daugherty, Brad. So, I think what that does is that doesn't allow a defense to sit and just key in on one player. And sometimes last year teams would try to take away Kellen, but we had Cameron Haynes able to handle the basketball, and we had, Ryan Stivers able to handle the basketball. So, it's a situation where we try to build strength within our team and let everybody handle the basketball.
And finally, when you talk about, again, trying to build that program back up and get these guys going, good underclassmen have to come into the picture. You've got a nice junior class and a nice sophomore class. Just talk about what excites you about those two classes.
Oh, it's going to provide a lot of depth for us. So if somebody's not getting the job done in practice or during the game, we're going to be able to sit and sub them in and out and figure out who is going to be willing to compete that night. And I think what it's going to do is it's going to allow us to be very, very competitive in practice, which will allow us to be more successful in games early, I think. And it's going to provide us a lot of depth, especially with the speed that we want to play with. So what we hope to do is play a lot of fresh bodies against maybe your 5, 6, or 7, and then maybe at the end of the game get you really, really tired and try to sit and capitalize off errors that you possibly will make towards the end when you're very, very fatigued.
And just one more thing, when you talk about, you guys are a Northern Kentucky team playing in the 10th region, so it's a little bit different. Obviously, those games are even officiated different. Is it tough for you from night to night to say, hey, tonight we're playing 9th region officials or a 9th region team that plays this way? Is there any transition there when you flip between the two regions?
Not at all. We're just going to play our system. One thing that does happen, it gets called a little bit tighter up here in the 9th region, so we get whistled for a lot of fouls. And then what I tell our kids is we just have to learn. You have to learn to play defense the way that they're calling it and learn to play defense without fouling. And we just have to sit and, do whatever the referees are calling. And it's my job to sit and complain to the officials. It's not my players. They have to adapt and overcome.
All right, that's Coach Brad Carr, Scott Eagles. Another stop on our NKSB Preseason Practice Tour in the books. I'm Rick Brewing, NkySportsBlog.com.